Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Grimolia, the president and CEO here at Woodland Pond at New Paltz. And today is Tuesday, July 26th, 2022. And this is my update for a Tuesday. I hope you're all well. And I have a few topics that I just wanted to cover today. First and foremost, a COVID update. So since our last notification of a new staff member case in the health center, which was issued on Friday in a memo, we have had no new reported cases of COVID on campus, nor any suspected. So keep up the good work with the safe behaviors. Again, I just like to reiterate, most important thing is if you have any signs or symptoms of any illness, anything that's prolonged, certainly, please stay in, contact one of us, contact a nurse if you're in the health center or a nurse if you're in independent living. Contact your primary care physician. Just let someone know what you're experiencing and we'll let you know what your instructions are. But the most important thing is to just stay in or to sort of isolate from folks so that you're not spreading illness if you do have it. There's nothing worse than, if you end up testing positive and knowing that, gosh, I have had symptoms for a couple of days, but I continue to go to the dining room. No one wants to be in that situation. So just safe health behaviors goes a long way. We continue to keep our eye on the news and latest data about COVID spread and where we are. There's no question that this remains to be something that we are contending with, but what I'm hearing over and over, Dr. Fauci mentioned it again this week, we really need to learn to live with COVID and figuring out the safest ways to live and exist sort of in that realm is very important. Secondarily, I will just mention monkeypox, not because there's any, suspected cases or anything like that at Woodland Pond, but we are continuing to keep an eye on epidemiological information or information that comes out of the New York State Health Department related to monkeypox. Right now, it seems like the risk of transmission is very specific, and there are very specific scenarios under which this would be spread from one to another. It seems like it requires very close physical contact, potentially exchange of bodily fluids and certain other things. So I don't think it's a big risk, and it's certainly not being treated like anything like the flu or COVID at this point. So we'll just continue to keep an eye on that, but I just wanted to mention that. The next thing that I wanted to discuss today is heating and cooling. It has been hot. So the nature has been heating and we are trying to do the cooling. We are, as always, at any given point in time, especially in the summer when our units are trying to keep up with such heat and humidity, we are always going to have units that need attention. We've got hundreds of units here on this campus, whether they're rooftop units, in your independent living apartment or cottage, in your health center home. We've got hundreds of HVAC units going at all times. And so it's very common that we have repair or attention that is needed. So for those who have asked, we do have a full-time HVAC technician on our staff, that's Carl. And we also have a contract with a local plumbing and HVAC company called Heckeroth. And very often on any given day, you will see a Heckeroth van here on our campus, maybe two, because we are very aggressive with having them come and help us to sort out any HVAC issues. In the event that your personal space is affected and for some reason you need temporary cooling in your home, we have a number of portable options. And the most important thing is for you to please contact concierge, reception, or a nursing staff member to help you with a heating or cooling issue, and we will do our best to get immediate relief to you. In some of the common areas, it's not unusual for us to have a unit or a fan or a blower that is out. Our process for addressing those issues is either Carl or Heckeroth notifies us of a supply that is needed to be, or I'm sorry, a part or a supply of something that needs to be ordered. And from my perspective and from Christy Battistoni's perspective, our director of finance, anything HVAC related that's needed to be purchased just automatically gets approved, particularly in times like this. So if you continue to see a delay in that repair happening, it's not because of an approval or an order, it's because that part is delayed. And of course, as you can imagine, there are substantial supply chain issues. So we are working on all of this, and I just wanted to give you the update on that. Most important thing, again, is just to make sure you're contacting someone that can help place a work order, and that's super critical. That's for staff and residents and their families. The next thing I wanted to mention is in independent living primarily, several weeks ago, maybe a month ago, we had a meeting where we discussed the idea that there's a possibility as a resident of Woodland Pond that at some time you might be displaced from your home. And we issued a form to all of the independent living residents to be able to identify what your plan would be if you were ever displaced. Where would you go? What would you need? And we also asked you to complete information about your tenant's insurance, which is required to be carried under your contract. At this point, we've received roughly 30 to 40% of those forms back, and we really need you to get them in. So if you've not completed a displacement form or tenant's insurance form, you can obtain a copy, if you don't know where yours is, from Concierge, and we will ask you to submit that in so that we can have that on record. The next thing I wanted to mention is that it is absolutely critical that independent living residents do not use skilled nursing or assisted living to travel from independent living to the physical therapy department or the lobby of the health center. These are not through ways. Similarly, if you're visiting a loved one in the health center, you have to go to reception to sign in. Because of COVID restrictions, no one can be unmasked or not checked in either skilled nursing or assisted living or garden view, incidentally. So if you do not wish to travel outdoors from independent living to the physical therapy department or the lobby of the health center, you may travel downstairs in the basement. That does not require masking. There are elevators on either end. So if you need some instruction on how to do that, please let us know. And we will be enhancing that signage. But again, that is a strict COVID regulation. That's not a Woodland Pond thing. And please, we would just ask for you to refrain from traveling through skilled nursing or assisted living, particularly unmasked and not having checked in at reception. Yesterday, I issued a memo that offered for those that might be interested in finding some substantial cost savings, the opportunity to potentially downsize from an independent living unit into a spruce style apartment. We have very limited opportunities for that available, and we've already seen immediate interest in that. So if this is something that you are considering downsizing from a larger apartment into a one-bedroom spruce style apartment, please do follow the instructions on that memo as quickly as possible, because I can see that this is going to be a very popular option, and it is going to be first come, first serve. So if you're interested in that, please contact Shannon or Courtney in the marketing office, and we will get you onto a now growing list. Today at 2 o'clock, so today is Tuesday, today at 2 o'clock in the PAC, the Interfaith Committee will be hosting one of their Tree of Faith programs. And this is the life journey of a Black Hudson Valley migrant family. This is going to be very fascinating. I'm not sure if many residents know the history of Black migrant families working on, different farms and such here in the Hudson Valley, in New Paltz and other places locally in Ulster County and other counties. But if you have time today and you can make that 2 o'clock, I think you'd find it extremely interesting, and I would encourage you to attend. So the last thing that I will just share is that, as many of you know, I have a scheduled vacation starting this Friday, and I will be gone for 2 full weeks, returning the Monday, August 15th is the plan right now. That may turn into August 16th, depending on our travel plans. But we are headed to Tennessee for 2 weeks with the campers. We've got 8 families going. It should be a fun time, a week in Nashville and a week in the Smoky Mountains. So I will be intermittently available on email after this Friday. And otherwise, my team is here to help everybody with what they need. So no weekly addresses for the next couple of weeks, and I'll see you in mid-August. Thanks.